Hello and welcome to Senior Racing Club's final race of this season. We're on the GT3s today at the fantastic Hungaroring in decent conditions. It's a 45-minute race. There are no planned stops and it'll be interesting to see how the tyres last. We did this in the GT4s on Friday and the tyres do start going off towards the end, so it'll be interesting to see where we go. And also with it being, I'm going to say a non-performance track because there's really only one straight, it'll be interesting to see what setups people are running. Ideally, because of the nature of the corners, you do want some downforce. That said, there's no golden rule, and if you can drive it without a downforce, well, off you go. Practicing is underway. We've got about 10 minutes left of practice, and then we'll go to official qualifying. Let's just have a look at the championship though, because there's a couple of battles to go for. So we've got Klaus, who's currently leading it with 349 points. We've got Marco, I should say Marco, my apologies. Marco in second place with 341 points, and Nathan in third place with 325. Now, strictly speaking, any one of them three could potentially win it. Unlikely at this rate that Nathan can win it unless both Klaus and Marco do not start. Klaus is not currently on the grid, so my favourite at the moment is going to be Marco to win this, and that will then probably mean that Nathan will get second if Nathan finishes, and Klaus will get third. Further down the grid, the table, there's another little battle consisted of Mark Rogers on 236 points. Mark Cooley, who had a fantastic finish to the GT4 Championship and finished second place on Friday. Congratulations to him. Great effort, great result. He's in the Ford. And then we've got Eric Dont, who's in the Bentley with 220 points. Now, the good news is for both Mark Cooley and Eric Dont is that Mark Rogers is not racing this evening. He's not going to get back in time to race. So basically, they just need to finish and they will leapfrog him. So the probability is Mark Cooley will probably get 7th. And I think he said to me earlier that getting a top 10 finish is more than he was hoping. So, you know, if he ends up in 7th place, I'm sure he's going to be absolutely elated with that. So anyway, without further ado, let's go on track. And we're currently on board with Nathan, who's trying to close down the gap to Marco, and he's decided to pull it up. Marco's currently on he was on track, and he does appear to be going quick. He's currently showing his green, which usually implies he's up. Now it's showing he's well up, and I mean well up as in, now he's lost all his time there. He may have been up, but that corner's just completely killed it. So he's now down. The other thing with this track as well, as we found out on Friday, the track limits take no prisoners. There's a couple of places on track that if you do go off, you will get a warning. Now, very early on in the GT4 race on Friday, quite a few drivers within the first few laps had 3 warnings. So what will be interesting is if we go the whole race without anybody getting a drive-through penalty. We've got basically 3 lives, and on your 4th life you end up going into the pits and having to do a drive-through. That said, we'll see how it goes. I believe also Mark Christopher's struggling to get online. He's had a power outage. He has been informed it should be back on by 7:30. Now, what I've usually found in the past, I'm not saying it's the same for everyone, when they say 7:30, that's the worst case scenario, and it usually comes on before that. So I'm wishing the power comes back on for Mark and he can jump on track and give us another number. Now, as it stands at the moment, there is only 12 cars going to be racing on track. That said, some people only turn up for qualifying. I'm listed on there, but I will not be taking part. You will see me to go to the pits for the simple reason being I've got to be on track to show you the overlays with all the information on it. So pretty much as it was last week. I'm hoping the sound levels are okay. I'm hoping you can see everything that you need to see. So top left is the standings. Top right under the SRC logo is basically the relative. So that shows where they are in comparison to the car around them. I'm just going to move that a little bit more central. OCD on that. and then you've got the standings scrolling at the bottom. I've got a track map. What's good on the track map is you will see when there's a car stopped, if they've been gone off or something, because you'll see them stationary. But other than that, you get an idea of where the action is on track at the moment and who's getting close. The other piece of information I've got on here is the flags. So where the double yellows are waved and so on will appear under the time, and you can see the time at the top. So I know some of that information is given in a set of courses, a competition as standard. You will still see the yellow flags from ACC, but they just look a bit more presentable. So obviously I'm trying to make this as attractive as possible for anybody who's watching. If you are watching, give us a shout out in the chat on YouTube and I'll give you a mention. I think you will have to subscribe to do that though, because when I first started doing this I was getting all sorts of, shall we say, illicit links, and I decided not to do that, so I've turned all that off. So unfortunately we'll have to subscribe, but I don't do this for subscribers and for likes. I purely do it for fun. But if you do want to like it, please click away and like. I do this so we can maximise who's seeing the race, and obviously if any of the drivers want to watch it back, they get to see the race from a different perspective. Some of them will save the replay and we'll go through the replay and watch the replay. But obviously I'm trying to concentrate on the action, where things have happened. I've made a few changes to my software since last week as well. Some of the banners, as you can see there, the pit stop banner, I've tidied them up a little bit. The sizing on them wasn't done. I think I had a scaling issue, and the pit stop one, not the pit stop one, the replay one's working as well. But other than that, I think it's a lot tidier than it was last week. Work in progress, all this. I do keep changing it and fixing issues in my software as well. There is one issue that is relatively still present. When I click on the replay, it jumps back to my car in the pits. It never used to do that. That's something that's changed in ACC, but I can't do anything with the API. So what I do is I give it a pause and then it switches for me. That's the best thing I can do. Anyway, that's all technical stuff. We don't need to worry about that. That's my issue, and we'll keep it as my issue. We've got 3 minutes left to go. You can see there Michael's just done a 1:44.4. So Michael's on it. Let's who can we go on board with? Mark Condron's in the Ferrari, sorry, in the McLaren, and he's currently 2/10 up. Let's sit on board with Mark. Don't know how the McLaren is round here. He's pulling over, great timing. There's a couple of curbs, and I know the McLaren in some tracks doesn't like the curbs, so it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Now most people are in the pit box, I presume they're waiting for the countdown. We're on board with Aku. He's also in a Ferrari. There's a mixture of cars. We've got Ferraris, McLarens, 2 Fords, BMW, Bentley. Yeah, that's probably the mixture of cars. I don't see many others driving other cars now, to be honest, in ACC. The Ferrari seems to be the pick of the bunch. The Mustang's coming out and the McLaren. BMW's a bit, it's been in the game from day one, really. Obviously the McLaren is an updated version, it's the Evo. So that's, I'm not going to say a new car, it's not a new car. The most recent car that's been added is the Ford Mustang. And I will say, the grunt on the straight is phenomenal. And the braking on it is phenomenal. But it does, you want to carry corner into the speed into the corners, that's its weak spot. You've really got to have the balance of the car right to get it to turn in and come out. That said, once you learn how it works, you can do some really good performance with it. As you can see here, Mark Cooley's down to the 1:45 ones. That's a very, very good time. And he's taken that on the back of his race on Friday, where he was in the Mercedes. Now, I will say, from a handling perspective, the bulk of the Mercedes is very similar to the bulk of the Mustang. We're down to 1 minute, and then we'll go to official quali. So the top three, the top four are separated by 1/10 of a second. So yeah, it's going to be interesting in T1, shall we say. And then you're talking 2/10 then to the next, and then there's a bit of a gap. Aku's up on his time here. T1 being up is a good starting point. His best is a 1:47. Needs to take half a second off really, and he's a couple of tenths up as it stands. He's losing a bit of time. Got that corner really well. This is the tricky one. Get your braking point right so you don't drift too far right, and he's took it. A bit of understeer there. Needs to carry the speed around the corner. He is a couple of tenths up still. Now he's lost his time in that corner. It seems to catch everyone out of that corner, getting the power down. And then through here is obviously tricky because of the two curbs. Hit the curbs wrong and it will launch the car. Steal too much and again you'll get track limits. Now he is up again, but he's gone into that corner a little bit too slow and lost a bit of time. See where he ends up. He might take a tenth off his time here. Could be a couple of tenths looking at it. That was nice into that corner. He maximised performance in that corner. He's now 4 tenths up. Just needs to get this corner nailed. And the final corner he could be into the 146s. He's 6 tenths up. It's all about this corner. Getting the braking point and getting the power on at the right point. And a bit tentative there. I was going to say he's lost a bit of time. And that would have put him into the 46s. A 146.7 he'd have done there. So that, I think that's his first into the 146s. Hi Extinguish. I'm great mate, how are you? Okay, so we're into quali now. Let's pick someone to go out with. Let's pick one of the faster guys. Let's go on board with Gabriel. Oh, he's not going out yet. In fact, none of them are going out yet. Michael's not. Oh, Michael's out. Go on board with Michael. His AMD liveried Ferrari. Interesting to see. Obviously, it's going to take a lap to get your tyres up to speed. I'm just commentating Extinguish. I've been racing. It's just a couple of weeks. I had technical problems. My wheel broke down, and it took me out for a week. And one of the weeks, I commentated because I had no driving ability. And I just thought it's the last race of the season. I'll commentate on the last race of the season for everybody. So that's where I am at the moment. Should be good fun though. Should be good fun. Quite a tricky track. Difficult to overtake. You can do it on the straight, but you've got to get the drive out the final corner correct. The race we had on Friday, the GT4s, was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The battle, second, third and fourth, I don't think there was a second or race between them. And one mistake and you'd have lost positions, but it was an epic battle between the three racers. Marco, Michael and Mark Cooley, I think it was. I romped off into the front, into the distance, so I couldn't play with them. I think I finished 15 seconds clear in the end, which is very surprising for me, to be honest. But I did the same at Paul Ricard when the wheel broke down. I was averaging a second a lap faster, and my wheel packed in. It went kaput. Anyway, he's sit on board with him while he does his fast lap. And this is his fast lap now. This is the tricky bit. Got to get the balance right. He hasn't gone wide. He's going to keep within track limits. This is the tricky corner, and the car starts bouncing around the corner. You'll see it just dropping a little bit. Quite weird, that corner. It's almost like the road is uneven, or when they've scanned it unevenly, and the car bounces around the corner. And you can actually see it on the Ferrari. Then the back end was moving across the track. I've no idea what his time is looking like at the moment, but he was one of the quicker guys before. Not sure whether he was in track limits there. That was very, very close, I must say. His wheel did seem to go over the white line. And you can see Marco's behind him in the German coloured livery Ferrari as well. This is the first flying lap. Are we likely to see a 1:44.4? Very good starting lap. And Marco with a 1:44.6. That's a great starting lap. Let's jump on board with Mr. Cooley in the Mustang. Livery courtesy of me. I did 6 different colours. Nathan's done a 1:44.2. And Mark Cooley likes the green, so we picked the green one. And he's done a 1:45.1. Sorry, no, a 1:46.2. He's done. So he's going to have to jump up a little bit and get his foot down. Nathan's out in front there. Let's go on board with Uwe. He's in the McLaren. He's 4 tenths up at the moment. He's got that corner really well. Lost a bit of time. Trying to keep to the back of Marco there, the car in front of him. Gabriel's also done a 1:45.2. He's gone too wide there. That'll be an invalid lap. So that one's not going to count for Uwe. Let's go on. Jump on board with Mr. Cooley again, because he's on a good lap here. He could be getting himself into the 45s. Now, it's not going to push him up the leaderboard much, but it's going to give him a respectable time for qualifying. He's really got the balance right now with the Ford as well. He asks the right questions as well in relation to setup. You know, what sort of setup does he need for this track? If he's struggling over the curbs, what can he do? And the good questions to ask, and I think all the tweaks he ends up making really do improve where he's up to. And Mark Christopher's made it. I said his power would be on early. And there he goes. Nathan's done a 1:44 flat. He means business. And Cooley is looking really good here. What's he going to get out of this? And he's done a 1:45.3 and has put him in 5th place. Okay, let's jump on board with Mr. Christopher as he comes and does his first flying lap. Yeah, that 1:45.3 is a good respectable time. I think he's done a 1:45.1 in the Mustang before, so it'll be interesting to see where he ends up with that. I think Mark is a quick racer, and I think he'll be looking for the 45s here. Yeah, Cooley's looking good, Extinguish. He's come on a lot from when he joined us as well. Really took note and learnt the tracks really, really well. And if you saw the race on Friday, he's still buzzing about it today. I think he's bored his wife silly with it. But I suppose coming from Xbox to PC, big difference. You know, all the equipment you can use. I think he's really enjoying that as well. And he knows he's still learning, but he is taking it on board, and that's a good thing. So Christopher coming back towards the end of the Sector 3 now. He is in Sector 3. And see where this lap takes him. I have no idea of time because I've got no reference point for his lap. This will probably be a field lap, so I reckon in the 1:46s. Yeah, I know what you mean, Extinguish. Xbox is great. I think for casual gaming, yeah, 1:46.9. But if you want to race properly, I think you've got to use a PC, if I'm being honest, brutally honest. Right, let's jump on board with Jerome. Jerome is half a second up. His best is a 146.1, so he's looking to get into the 145s. He's coming to the final corner. And I am looking for a 145.3. Very good lap. Let's jump on board with Paolo. So Paolo's 3/10 up. He's also in the Ford. He's cut that corner. That corner's now going to be invalid because he's well took too much out of that. Let's jump on board with Eric in the Bentley. Eric's struggling. He's 3/10. Oh, he's 10th up. Sorry. He's on his first lap as well, so he's good breaking into that corner. Probably ridden the curb too much. He was doing well until he rid the curb, but he's got the power down early. Let's see where this takes him. Yeah, that ride in the curb I think just took some pace out of the car, and he's sliding it into that corner as well. He's struggling to he's going to struggle better his time here. We've still got 6 minutes to go, so still 3 laps left. Jerome is now 2/10 up. Christopher's 7/10 up. So Christopher's looking good here. He's going to be in the low 146s. Paolo's just knocked Eric down a position. Those 13 going to be on track for this race. It's a shame because we're at over 20 at a certain point. I know some drivers can't make it. Now he's gone off track there. He's okay, but I'm not too sure whether that was an invalid lap or not. I can't really see that at the moment. If he does make any headway, I don't think he will. He's only talking a 10th. He's really struggling in the intersection of that track to get it to rotate. Yeah, he's all right here. He's managed to pull a bit of time back. I think he's going to be in the 146.5s, perhaps. 146.5, yeah, I reckon. Could be wrong. 146.5. Okay. Let's jump on board with Uwe. Uwe's 4/10 up. And he's still chasing down Marco. It's going to be like this in the race, I reckon. He's 3/10 behind Marco here. Now he's lost a bit of time. Did get a bit of a twitch there by the looks of it as well. Although I didn't actually see that properly. It did look like he got a bit of a twitch on with the car. Really stealing the corner there. Because during the race that'll be interesting. Whether you get punished or not. The track limits, yeah, he's lost time now. Sometimes the curbs are great, but they can also cause you to lose a bit of performance. Yeah, he's gone wide there. You can see it's pushed him off track. That'll cost him. That's because he hit the little curb in the middle, and it raises the car and lifts it off. And you can see he's gone very wide there. So another driver who is up this time is Eric. So can Eric put this lap together? This will move him up 2 places as it currently stands, possibly 3. He might just nip in front of Mr. Condron. If he carries on at this rate, he's going to be into the 145s. So at the end of this, he could end up in 9th if he keeps it together. See how he goes around the last corner. He's down to 3/10 now. Got a good entrance into there though. He's made a lot of time in that corner. I think he's got a 146.1, 146 flat, or 146.07. So he's gone up into 9th, which is where I said he would be. Not Christopher. It's 2/10 up. So he's looking to. He's not going to move forward because the gap between him and Jerome in front is 6/10. And he's only going to make a 10th. So he's going to just solidify that position a little bit. And we're down to 2 minutes. So there's literally only a lap left to go. For those who are currently out there. Might get 2 laps in depending on where you are on track. Gabrielle's going slightly quicker. But Gabrielle needs to make 2/10 up. He's 2/10 quicker. Let's jump on board with Gabrielle. Not been on board with Gabrielle yet. He's 2/10 up. Looking to steal 3rd. From Marco. He's 3/10 up. Now if he carries on, He could be stealing second here. He's 4/10 up. 3 to 4/10 up. This corner's going to be so interesting for him. And so important. He's managed to... Oh, he's... You know what? I'm not sure he's second or third here. He's gone top. 144.005. And has taken it from Nathan. Nathan's on track. And he's not gaining. So Gabriel may have stolen pole here at the death. We've got 1 minute 30 left. Great lap by Gabriel, that. Congratulations. Fantastic. So close to the 43s. Look at the gap. 5,000ths of a second between him and Nathan. Wow. I'm sure you blink slower than that. Nathan's way off the pace here. It's going to be a 144.6. 144.5. Yeah. This is Nathan's last lap. He's going for it. Oh, sliding the car around the corner. That's going to cost him. He's a 10th up, though. Sliding or not. He is a 10th up. This is going to be so interesting. Could we see a 143? And I mean, at the death. We've got 20 seconds left in qualifying. It was a bit wide there. Bit wide. I'm not too sure. He's lost time. This is the corner where everyone seems to lose time. Oh, and he stole too much there. That's it. That's killed him. That little bump again just lifts the car up and pushes it off. Now, Marco. I'm switching to Marco. Oh, he's gone wide. You know what? He'd have... that was a 143. He would have done a 143 there and took pole. But alas, he didn't. So that concludes qualifying. There might be a couple of drivers on track at the moment, but I don't think there's anyone actively gaining on the position. Marsman, my apologies, is nearly a second up on his best in the BMW. So hopefully he can get himself into the 148s. He's gone too wide there. That'll be an invalid lap. Condron is a 10th up in the Macca. It's not going to move him up, but he might be better in his best time. 145.6. Does indeed look like it's going to be a tight race. So I'm going to wait for, obviously, for the transfer from the onto the grid. And then we'll switch back to the race in a minute. So there's the current standings. Klaus isn't racing, so he cannot win now. Just by attending, both Marco and Nathan will jump and pass him. Now, in order for Nathan to win, I think Marco has got to finish last. And even then, the points still might be too much for him. So at this moment in time, I think Marco may have just done it. May have just done it. But we shall see. And then Cooley has got the better of Eric. So Eric is 4 places behind Cooley. And one thing about Cooley, he's been getting more and more consistent each week. And that's been a bit of his downfall, is the consistency. But now he's got the consistency, or he's starting to show it, I think we're going to see much better racing out of him. Just go and getting a refreshment. Back in a second. Nice Beetlejuice refreshment, if anybody's seen the new film. Hello, Mrs. Cooley. Bit of a shout out to you. I believe you're watching. Just waiting for them to go onto the grid. And then off we go. Yeah, it usually takes a couple of minutes for the grid to form. Gives the racers an opportunity to, well, go to the toilet. I can say that. Once you're over 50, yep, you need the toilet. Now, as there's only 13 on track, it shouldn't be that difficult to keep track of all the events. I should be able to keep track of passes a little bit more as well, because I've now got passes being recorded in my software so I can follow them. And if I click on the pass, it should do a replay back. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it should be a bit more entertaining this week. Really taking its time though, and here we go. So what'll happen is I'm gonna start my engine and then return to pits because I won't be taking part in the race. I could try the keyboard, but believe me, I'm awful. So what I'm gonna do is you'll see me basically start my engine, press escape, and then return to garage, and then I'll go back out and do the camera view from probably from the helicam, and concentrate on the front of the grid like that. So Mark Christopher's just saying there in the chat, the power come on early, but he had 3 stages to do in the rally game. Priorities, get them right. Anyway, 1 minute to go. See the helicopter's obviously waiting to take off or has landed. You can just see its blades just rotating there. And then all the extra information will disappear off the screen, I assure you, once the race starts. And it should be quite a clear stream, hopefully. Hopefully my sound levels are alright. I've not had anybody complaining. Just open my cam then. Drive. I click drive. It won't let me return to the garage yet. I've got to wait until the race actually starts, I think, and then I can go to the garage. But I'm not going to start my engine anyway. Strictly speaking, it should teleport me, but it doesn't always do it. It's not going to let me do it until they start rolling. I think I had this last week actually. Oh, now Gabriel's gone to the pits. I don't know what's happened there. That implies he hasn't pressed start. Now he's the only one who has gone to the pits. Got it all to do, so I'm going to see if it'll now let me go to the pits and then to garage. There you go. I'm now in the pits. I can now go. I've missed the start of the race, my apologies, but that's the beauty of not getting things sorted. Come on, there we go. Bit of a battle behind. Bentley off. Oh, McLaren there, of Uwe. Oh, he just got a bit too close there, did Uwe. Let's just have a quick replay of that. Uwe's come round. He's already made contact with the Ferrari. Still at it. Still at it. Still at it. He's gone off, hit the barrier. And then he's hit the BMW, and they've both spun out. Aku's hit both cars. The rest have managed to survive. Okay, interesting. The battle back up at front. Not too sure why Gabriel got teleported. Although it's showing he isn't teleported. No, he is. He's been teleported to the pits, and I don't know why. You can see Nathan was really pushing there. Oh, Gabriel did make it because he's in second place. I don't know what happened, but as they said, he'd gone to the pits. Okay, never mind. I got it wrong. McLaren versus McLaren. Ferrari versus Ferrari. So this will be about setup here. No, Nathan runs a very loose setup. I've never really observed Gabriel's racing style. I'm not sure, but obviously Nathan will do the fastest lap, first lap out, usually. See the Mustang coming over the hill. Two Ferraris behind, in front of it, with the Mustang holding on behind them. The message will disappear off the screen in a minute where it says controls locked. Jerome is pitting. He must have car damage. Yeah, there's damage on the back of his car, as you can see there. Still got McLarens against each other and the two Ferraris behind. A bit of a battle at the back. Got the BMW of Marsman and the Mustang of Biondi. Trying to catch Aku up. Now, Aku will have got damage, but I don't think he'll have received much damage from the impact early on. You can just see the Mustang there of Paolo. Really, really pushing. Really got some grunt on it. And he'll be looking to pass the BMW on the straight. See, he's got so much more cornering. And the Mustang is going for a braking point, is he? No, he's not going to make that happen. He'll be held up here because the Mustang can go through the curbs there really, really well. See the power. He just wants to pass him. He might go up the inside here. Oh, he got a bit wide. He could have done that. If he had his angles right, he could have done that. Bit of time. Let's go back to the front where it's all happening. Nathan with a 144.6. And you can see the two McLarens are starting to run away a little bit. And Cooley's holding on in the Mustang. He's not being dropped just yet. But Biondi has passed Marsman. Let's just have a quick look of where he made the pass. He's setting him up in T1. Great, he's gone around the outside. Now that takes some doing. Knew the car was going to grip, and he's made the pass. Great pass, Paolo. Brilliant pass. Okay, let's jump back. Eric is now putting pressure on Mark. Mark in the McLaren. Eric had quite a struggle at the start in the qualifying. It looks like his race setup is much, much better. And we've still got in very close racing up front. I'll switch to that. I'll keep an eye on that other battle and switch back if I need to. Two Ferraris. You can see Mark's dropped a bit back here. He was a good near second off the pace in quali, so that's to be expected. What's going to be interesting though is that the gap between himself and Mark Christopher behind. I've got a feeling Mark Christopher's going to catch him. Nice and smooth around the corner though, getting his power down well. Yeah, you can see that Ferrari's definitely gaining. I think it's fair to say. Eric's still putting pressure on Mark, but not getting anywhere. Gabriel is still putting pressure on Nathan. That's the gap at the front. Yeah, really, really close to each other, as are the two Ferraris behind. Eric just doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the McLaren of Mark. There's certain sectors where it looks like Mark's got the better of him. One mistake here, and or Nathan gets that car sideways. I think we will see Gabriel pass. Had a good couple of races recently, Gabriel. Very, very straight through the corner there. Very, very tidy. Cooley's keeping Christopher at bay, actually. Gap's 2 seconds. It's increased. Christopher is 7/10 up on this lap. So he's gaining by 6/10 this lap at the moment. Still no change. Nathan does a 1:44.3. No one's touching him. Eric Don's now struggling to keep up with Mark Ondron. And Christopher is actually falling back from Cooley. Michael's getting close to Marco. The Ferraris are battling. You just saw the Mustang come around the corner at the end there. So he's not out of it. Again, one slight bit of contact, one deviation off track, you're back in it. 1 second, 2 seconds, that's all it takes. Uwe's in the pits. Does he give up? Uwe's quit. So was Jerome. They've called it a day. Okay. Hi Jade, welcome to the stream. Try and make it as fun as possible. Gabrielle's now going quickest. Gabrielle is now hunting down Nathan. Who are you supporting, Jade? So I know you're shouting out for. Yeah, he's just managed to pull away a bit, Nathan, there. Got back to the gap between behind them, Michael and Marco. You see the cars there just bouncing around that corner. You just see the tail hopping. Got you, Jade, alright. So he's forced you to watch it on that big telly, has he? I will go to him at some point, don't worry. Obviously there's battles going on. I mean, he's 3.5 seconds behind. But he is in 5th place. And he's pulling away from the Ferrari behind. He's definitely getting to grips with it. His lap times are really respectable. A 1:45.3 was his last lap. His best is a 1:45.2. They're really good race times. To give you a comparison, Christopher behind him, his best is a 1:45.4 and his last was a 1:46. So he's doing pretty well, actually. Just needs to be consistent. I've mentioned that before. Actually, he's a lot better than that. You should have watched wet races earlier, because I think he took me out 3 times on the bounce. The one at Monza was the best. Really good race, to be honest. Now, he tends to overdo it. He knows that himself. And that's why he said he's got to concentrate on his consistency. But after Friday, it's definitely something he's learning. Getting very close, this battle now. Oh, bit of a slide there. Yeah, the gap between Cooley and Christopher is now 5 seconds. So he's definitely pulling away. In the rumble through the floorboards. Oh, he's still going. He's not made a mistake yet. His lap time, his last lap. Oh, that's getting close. His last lap was an invalid lap, but it's still a 1:35.3. So again, good consistency there. Yeah, they do that extinguish. The Marco and Michael. I've known these two guys for years. Race with them on their server sometimes as well. They're part of Sim Nord Racing. Or Sim Racing Nord. I can't remember what it is now, sorry. Sim Nord Racing. Whoa, he's hit him. Oh! Now, I'm just going to go back a minute. What happened there? Oh, he didn't hit him. He avoided it. Wow. Must have got his braking point completely wrong. Right, there's a bit of a battle going on at the back now. We got Marsman. Oh, looked like he was going to take Aku, but I think he's gone off. Them two cars, they've come together. Let's go back and see if we can see anything. No, they've come together before that, because the Mustang's looking a bit worse for wear. The back of the BMW is looking a bit worse. Well, it's not looking too bad. Looks like Paolo's gone off, because Paolo did pass him before. And what I don't get to be told is if someone's crashed themselves and gone into a barrier. But again, I'm not saying that's what's happened. But that Mustang will be licking its wounds now, because the bonnet will be up a little bit. And it'll give Marsman a bit of a chance. Let's jump back to the front. Where Gabriella's caught back up with Nathan. Gap between Cooley and Christopher now is still 5 seconds and going up. His consistent lap time. In fact, Mark Cooley's last lap was his fastest lap, and I think that might actually be his PB. Showing off. It's normally when you make a mistake, when you show off. Right, there's no battles now. The battles are starting to die down a little bit as people start making gaps. But, interestingly enough, dare I say it, I think Cooley might be gaining on Michael ever so slightly. Actually, Michael's made a mistake, and that's why it's given Mark a chance to come back. So Cooley is trying to catch them. Bit deep in that corner. He wants to be hugging the curb there a little bit in the Mustang and drift on the way out as opposed to going in deep. That'll just be excitement and the breaking point. Yeah, I think it was Michael who went wide, wasn't it, before? Thinking about it. So that's why his lap was really down. Yeah, gap's increasing again now. Now he's got to get into grips with it. This is where the battle is. He's got a good run here. He's got a very good run. There's nowhere to pass. Oof. A little bit of a slide there from Gabriel. You could just see the car just starting to over-rotate. He'll have to ease off to recover that. God, these two are going to be absolutely sweating buckets at the end. Michael's caught back up to Marco. We'll jump to that in a minute. And then I'll go down and do a track stop check just to see where everyone is. 27 minutes of racing left to go. These two are just walking off into the sunset. The two Ferraris are still there, but they're not gaining. Gabriel a bit deep there, looking to take a tighter apex. As you can see, he just got a bit of a twitch there, trying to get the power down early. And Michael is now back on Marco. So let's see if he can get it to work this time as they come into the bend. So before he got his braking point wrong. And you can see just down the track the Mustang of Mark. Just trying to keep track of where they are. The gap between him and Mark behind. Oh, car number 88, track limits, and that's Paolo. But Paolo has got to drive through. I did say at the beginning of the race that was a high possibility. And he's the first one to get that. So Paolo will have to pit in the next 3 laps or will face a disqualification. Gabriel's still on it with Nathan though at the front. They are still going at it. Nothing happened with these two now. Gap's increased a little bit, and the gap's increased there a little bit as well. One bad bend and you can lose time. You can see just how wide Gabriel went then. That will have been a track limits, but I'm not sure whether it'll be a warning. Well, let's go down each driver one at a time from the cockpit. On board with Nathan from McLaren. Currently leading, best lap of a 144.1, which is really exceptional in race trim. And then literally 1 second behind Gabriel, who's obviously made a little mistake because he has lost a bit of time there. Picking his braking point to get the car to rotate into the corner, getting the power down as soon as he can. He's up in the McLaren as well. We've got Marco, who's 6 seconds behind in the Ferrari. You can see the McLaren then disappearing around the left-hander. Nice and easy drive, and then he's followed by Michael. That's where you lose track limits there, that corner where he just slid over the little curb. Change gear there to get the car to rotate better. You can see the car bouncing. Awful corner that. He's also in a Ferrari. So he's at the curb there. That's what the curb does, it just spoils the ride. On board with Mark in the Mustang. Curb upset in there as well, he hit it bang on then. Bit wide there, still within track limits though. Flat into this corner. And he's the leading Mustang driver. He's 5 seconds behind Michael, or thereabouts. Good rotation in that corner, and then Mark Christopher 7 seconds behind us, so you can't even see Mark now in front of him. car to rotate. He'll get the power down. And you can see the Mustang's disappeared again. And he's had a bad lap this lap actually. 1.5 seconds down on his best time. So Mark in front did a 1:45.9. This lap was a 1:46.9, a full second slower. And then we've got Mark Condron in the McLaren. He's 4 seconds behind Mark Christopher. And you can just see the Ferrari in the court at the bottom of the track then turning. I think he's gaining. Mark Condron's gaining on that Ferrari. And you can see in the mirror of the McLaren, that leads us nicely into the Bentley of Eric. He's having a great race in the Bentley, one of the oldest cars in the game. Making good gains on that McLaren, to be honest. Yeah, not giving up at all there. And then after that we've got Aku, who's also in a Ferrari. He's a good number of seconds behind. He had contact at the beginning with Uwe and a few other cars through no fault of his own, it's fair to say. Getting good rotation there. I thought his lap time should be better than they are. He's getting some good rotation in there. And then behind that we've got the Mustang that's had... Oh, and Paolo's decided to quit. I'm not seeing Paolo on track. I think Paolo's give up. And then this is the last driver who's on track, and that's Mark Marsman, who's in the BMW. So we've lost 3 drivers. We've lost Uwe, Jerome and Paolo. Right, let's get back to the front where the action's happening. Oh, Gabriel's right with him now. Oh, he's jumped that curb. Christopher's had a big mistake because he's... No, he's not had a big mistake. His times just seem to not be reflective of where he is. Which means we're quite considerably behind Mark Christopher now. Sorry, Mark Cooley. So this will go one of two ways. They'll come together. Oh, very wide there. And take each other out, which I don't think they will. Or we'll see Nathan hold on till the end. Gabriel's putting under pressure, but it's not a passing track. You've probably seen that already, although he's made a mistake there. Oh, he could get the switch back here if he can get the drive. Now, I did say as well in the intro that the tyres don't last. And the way these two have been going, it could be slidey time for the tyres. Now, I know the Mustang is really good on tyres. I don't know about the Ferrari. I've not driven it for a couple of seasons. But we could start seeing them come back into play if the tyres really go off. And what we'll see to prove that is we'll just start to see a lot of drifting going on with the McLarens. And there you go. Big drift there from Nathan. He's really struggling to keep that now. I think Nathan's tyres are melting off. Oh, he's not going for that, is he? Thought he was. Oh, 422 track limits, and Nathan has got a drive through. So all drivers will now move up a position. Did say that could happen. Oh, contact, contact. Nathan's got a drive through, so there's no point in fighting it. So I think that's what Nathan's realised. The Gabriel's going to try and run away now because Nathan will have to pit. And that will bring Nathan out in 9th place, perhaps. So all drivers will move up a position, as I said. I think Nathan's tyres have gone. He's really struggling now. Is he pitting? Or is he going round again? Yeah, he's pitting. So it's a drive-through penalty. What that means is he's got to go through the pits at the normal speed. Now, as he's going through the pits, everyone else can carry on track. So what we'll start seeing is we'll start seeing cars pass him. So there's already 2 cars passing him. Is the Mustang going to get him as well? Let's see. Don't think the Mustang's going to get him. He's going to have speed. Oh no. The Mustang is going to get him. So Cooley's come out in front of Nathan. Is Christopher going to get him? I don't think Christopher will, but he'll have a lot of speed in comparison to Nathan. The drive-through is cleared. Now Nathan's managed to get away with that. He's so we're going to see Nathan, I reckon, gain on Mark Cooley really, really quickly. He's still sliding the car around. And you can see now the Ferrari will be sniffing that and thinking, oh, got a chance here behind him. Problem is, I don't think it's the drive-throughs are over. He's got another 3 lives now. He can push, push, push. This is getting tasty, isn't it? Look at this, 3-way battle. We've got Christopher Condron and Dont. Are we going to see one of these get a drive-through? Who knows? You can just see Cooley going around the last turn there. Currently in 4th. Nathan is 18 seconds behind him. So if Nathan gains a second a lap, it won't be enough to catch Cooley. So we might be seeing the top 4 racers here finish the race in this position. Cooley there going very wide, but that is T1. That's expected. 7 seconds behind third place, Michael. But he's not going to get a podium yet. Nathan's very close to him, actually. Yeah, the gap's down to, I think Nathan will get him in about, we'll catch him in about 6-7 laps. Let's see, shall we? Because he'll be pushing now, Nathan. He's pulling away from Christopher. But Christopher's got this battle to worry about now behind him, so he's looking in his mirror, and that's exactly what he can see. A McLaren and a Bentley. McLaren's hogging that corner really, really well. Oh, he's at the curb there. His car looks damaged. Oh, he had nudges before, didn't he, with Uwe? Condron's not giving up. We're going to get any more drive-throughs. Eric, they're going a bit wide. I don't think that'd be justification for a drive-through, though. It might be just a track limit warning, that one. So the way the warnings work is it looks at your speed gained in a corner. And if you go off track and you're at like a 1,000th of a second ahead of where you normally would be, you'll get a warning. Otherwise, you'll just get a track limit notification. You can have as many track limits as you want. It's the warnings that mean something. You can go around and get 50 track limits a lap if you wanted to. That'll have no impact on the race. But the second you have a warning, that's a big impact. I think on Friday, a couple of the drivers had a warning very early on. I got one on lap 2, but I kept one for that point on. I think Mark said he had 3 warnings after 5-6 laps and managed to keep going. Now the McLaren's getting very tasty here. He's really starting to put pressure on the Ferrari. Now I am wondering whether that damage on the Ferrari is an aero issue. If that's the case, it will struggle. And you can see the McLaren is definitely quicker now. Nathan is still gaining on Cooley, but I don't think as quick as we thought. But the sweat will... I don't know if you want to start getting the tissues, Jade, and start wiping the sweat off his forehead, because he's sweating his knackers off now. Getting really worked up. I think we might see this Ferrari battle disappear in a minute. Managed to hold him at bay there. I'm gaining on him a little bit. See how the gap is between Mark and Nathan. So Mark's still lapping in the 145s. Nathan's lapping in the 145s. I don't think Nathan's doing enough. Not to close down a 9-second gap. Getting through there very, very tidily. Aku's pitting. Didn't see a drive through, so he might just have car damage, or he's gone off and hit something. I'm not seeing anything to say otherwise. Oh, that's wide. If he's on warnings, he doesn't want to be doing that, because that will give him a warning. Right, I'm going to go back to Condron, because he's back with the Ferrari, and the Bentley's now coming to the party as well. Yeah, squeaking, it's my chair, by the way. needs a bit of grease on it. Ferrari's going wide as well. And again, tyres, 11 minutes to go. The tyres will be playing havoc now. Mark Cooley had a bad last lap. Nathan was quicker, but only 4/10 quicker. That's not enough. We've got 10 minutes to go. So Nathan's now got to be a second a lap faster. No, in fact, that's not. He's got to be 2 seconds a lap faster. Yeah, and he can do it. He can get fourth. Oh, I tell you what, he was buzzing on Friday. He'll be buzzing again after this. Very close there is Condron. Getting good drive out that corner. This is the difficult bit. All through there very, very tidily. He's definitely close though. Definitely close. Yeah, and we're not seeing it this close before. Right up his Jaxie there. I thought Mark had gone a bit deep there, but it's just the way he's braking and getting that McLaren to turn in. Not going to get him here, he's not close enough, but he's going to be close at the end of the straight though if he can get a good exit here. I get it as well, Jade, and I've been on track with him. All I get is ping, 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 ping. Doesn't bother me, it's quite funny. He's got a good run here. Is it going to be enough? No. going to make the pass. He's looking at it, but he's not going to make it. So let's see the battle for fourth, where we're going to end up. So on the map on the screen, you'll see on the left hand side the number 4 as a big icon, and that's Mark Cooley catching a back marker, BMW there, as you can see from Mark. Marsman in front of him, and then the dot behind is Nathan. So you can see he's half a sector clear. I don't think Nathan's doing enough, and the last lap time Cooley was quicker. I'll leave that one to you, Jade. We're going to see him make a pass on a back marker here. Let's see how he contends with it. It can very easily go wrong passing back markers, to be honest. Oh, he's letting through, has he? What that on then there? Yeah, he's let him through. That was the game glitching. That was nothing to do with me. For some reason, it went to another car. So he's managed to pass the BMW. Gabriel at the front's eased off. Marco's running faster than now behind. I can't see Nathan in the rearview mirror at all. He's got 6 minutes to go. That equates probably to about 3 to 4 laps. Hi, Pip. He's dropped back a bit here as Con's on Christopher. I don't know whether he's had a bit of a bad run. Near the tyres. They're all struggling with the tyres now. The lap times are showing it. What I will say though is the guys up at the front are over a second or 2 seconds faster than this lot. So the pace with the first 5 drivers is very, very exceptional. I think it's fair to say. They're all under the one. They're all within the 146s, whereas these guys are in the 147s and after. Okay, so you can see in front, there's a car in front of Nathan. Don't panic. It's the BMW of Marsman. So we've still got to pass the BMW and then catch Mark. Mark is looking for a 4th place. All I'm going to say, Jade, is get to bed early. Switch your phone off. Put your earplugs in. Otherwise you're not getting to bed early. Watch the replay. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah, he's going to keep him at bay here. It's going to be a really good finish. Very wide. Don't want to get another drive through. No one else is getting them. We've got 4 minutes left to go. 4 minutes left to go. Back to this battle. Between the McLaren and the Ferrari. His last lap he was faster than Nathan. view, she says. It's always tomorrow. That means my phone's going to go in all night then, doesn't it, really? Ooh, very good braking there from Condron. Very good braking. Really gained. This looks like it's the weak link for the Ferrari, this sector. The McLaren is so much quicker. Now, they have lost Eric. Eric's made a big mistake somewhere. Because he's well off the pace. Yeah, he's way off the pace. I don't know what's quite happened to Eric there. Oh, Christopher going very corner cutty there. He knew if he'd have hit the curb, that would have took him off. That's why he's cut it the way he cut it there. I think his tyres have gone. He's got 2 minutes to pass him, Condron. All depends on what downforce you run on the straight. If you're running no downforce, you'll pass on the straight, but this isn't a low downforce track. Yep, you will. So coming to the final realms of this race now. Gabriel is still leading. Marco's closed the gap to under 2 seconds. So we'll jump on board with Marco, and you can see there, sorry, Gabriel will jump on board with Gabriel, and you'll see Marco's behind him and Michael's just be behind him. I think Gabriel's eased off, knowing he doesn't want to get a drive through. That's very sensible driving. This will be the final lap. Let's stay on board. Obviously, end of the race. We want to keep on board with the leader. Push them over the finish line. Condron is getting very close, but he's still not making it past. I don't know whether he's going to do it at the end, but we'll stick back with Gabriel. A few more laps he might have been sweating because Marco's gaining. But I think Gabriel knows what he's doing here. I mean, his lap times are still good, but equally Marco's are still good as well. And Nathan's picked up the pace. He's nearly a second quicker than Mark Cooley now. But it's not going to be enough. Couple more corners to go. It's the final sector. Just go and navigate now. Right-hander, left-hander, right-hander. And that's it. He's done. Coming around now. Final corner. And we have winner. Gabriel. Marco in second. Michael in third. And in fourth place, we have the Mustang. Mark Cooley. What a great result. He's going to be buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. There you go. And Nathan Going round the final bend, wasn't that far behind. You could see the car in front. And Christopher is just staying in front of Condron. Great battle there between them two. And Eric, I think Eric's more or less, Marsman's already passed. And because Marsman's passed the finish line, his race will be over as well. So that will conclude the race. Thanks for those who stuck by and watched. I hope you enjoyed it. And congratulations to Marco, who I believe is the GT3 champion of this season. Well done, Marco. And congratulations to all drivers for finishing, and well done to the podium. Thanks very much for everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.